that shine is boom, baby, boom time. It's your boy Marky Saints Addiction. I'm up in this bitch every morning talking about surviving depression and mental health and people's wealth and making ourselves better people in all sectors of our lives. And this morning we're going deep, always going deep to get people their release. I mean, there's so many things that we do, from loud cars to loud motorcycles to a loud mind, to try to alleviate the pains and discomforts that are inside of our minds. And it's there, it's in everyone. It's in your boy Saint. It's in children sometimes. It's mostly in adults, and it's an epidemic of high proportions. Like, this is something that on a regular basis we were trying to subversively push down our depression or our angst or anything else that hasn't gone right in our lives, and rose the anxiety and the discomforts of mental health to a level that we haven't ever seen before. There's so many things that used to force people into like being outside, and as the burping too, the electronics arise, we became less and less connected to our own natural environment, and then we end up feeling unnatural in our lives. And to fix some of these issues, we've done some things. you know we've hopped on our phones early in the morning, getting rid of all our mobility. Guilty, because I had to do this motherfucking show, and that's an excuse. I don't have to do this show. I actually like my quiet time before the show, so that's spiritual hour for all of us to get our minds and our bodies right. Are you being spiritual in your hour in the morning? Are you getting the alignment together? Most of us just swipe right, jump on the phone, and we think that because we don't feel any pain. I'd really like people to not be taught by pain. I'd really like for you to be able to make a healthy decision before you, these kids, before it becomes a habit, and before you fight people for the habit, and your health and all that, and your risk and your wealth. There are things out there that are stealing that, right? Alcohol always comes to mind because it's so pervasive, it's so prevalent, to be there right when you think it's there to help you. I'm going to rescue you from your pain, I'm going to make you feel no pain. And actually, we're going to feel no pain in this shirt today. It's been hot out here, your boy Saint. And to be able to say, you know I wanted something different out of my life, and therefore I started to treat myself differently. Talking to ourselves differently. I'm going through the hacks that I just read. We're gonna go deep into it because we'll have someone call in, but you know, that's part of the plan. That's part of the plan. As a matter of fact, we should probably get it going right now. Let's get some people in on it. Maybe I should put my shirt back on. It's fucking hot out here. I don't know. It's one of those though. Beers on shirts, baby. We gotta fucking get it how we live. Let's see. Should we? We will. Most people are like, why you always got your shirt off on your show? Because it's 100 fucking degrees out in Las Vegas and I'm outside. So yeah, that's why the show was always that way. It's fucking hot out. You can feel the temperature right now. It's not so bad, but it can get fucking hot out. But now I feel okay, you know? And I think that's what it's all about, of all of us feeling okay. Okay, I'm live. I'm looking at myself live, which is really interesting. And I should be on Instagram. So let's go to Saints Addiction on Instagram and let's try to figure it out, because we need to go live at the same time. I don't have 2 hours today. I got shit to do. But I would like to get something going here. You know what I'm saying? Something going. Why is this not going? It's on the wrong channel. Here we go. So, if you're not already following, Saints Addiction, we out here. Men's workout takes, flexing on these hoes. So, let's get it. I am fucking getting it how I live. Let's go live. Clear out that camera. And yes, blessed. Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. Your host with the most is Marky Saint. And every morning I get up and I'm blessed to live my life. And this morning is no different. You are live on the YouTube. You are live while I roll my blunts and talk about surviving depression. And this morning we're gonna let someone call in per usual with the shirt off. Yes, with the shirt off, because your boy Saint's living his blessed life. This fucking 90 degrees out here in Las Vegas, and we're gonna get it how we live, okay? So it's not easy. It's not easy. Man, I'll put my shirt on, all self-conscious. It's not easy starting from a tough spot right now. It's Taurus season. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's Taurus season. Everyone has a season. Everyone has a ability to be in it. And here we are, an ability to be in it. Hairs all over this thing, shedding. But we're going live. We're going to talk about our health levels. We're going to talk about reaching something inside of ourselves to find something to soothe ourselves. You know, there's so many external things, that the cheap things, the quick things, the sugars, the beers, the alcohol that work, the salts, the fats that work with our brain to make ourselves feel okay. I mean, we all only have to look at heart disease and how big people are to really realize that a lot of us do food therapy or retail therapy or sex therapy to alleviate whatever issues we got going on. But much like a sex tourist or a sex addict or a food addict, you know, like after you're done eating all the ice cream, it doesn't really make you feel better. In fact, it makes you feel like you need more. And then you know you got addictions. And to get rid of my addictions, I had to get saintly. I had to do some power work. And I do this work and then share my results with others so they can get their mind right too. It's not easy. Oh shit, Laura's in here. I ain't seen you in ages. Welcome, Laura. Get in here. And it's not easy to, we're getting people to get callers in. I don't think you've ever called into the show. Actually, I'm sure you haven't, but maybe next time. She got out. Oh shit, Saint's Addiction got something going on. Yeah. We got ourselves sharing information so other people can survive. We got this thing called our brains and our souls and our bodies that need to combine. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you're in a spiritual realm, if you will. You've left wherever you were at, and now you're in a spiritual realm. And I feel like I should have my weed swag bags out here. Is really what we should do. Some stuff on them. Of course you would. Let's do it. Hold up. Grab some product real quick, show it off. Some really cool things happening. Show it off, shall we? There's the weed swag bags. There's the billionaire blunt wraps. Well, they're not billionaire blunt wraps. These are the Mike Tyson wraps. They call these wraps. They call these the toads. Who else is in here? Mary Mistress. Oh shit! I got a view from her. Welcome to the show. So this is what happens, right? We end up getting product from the event. The toad is a blunt wrap. We got plenty of these. We got some cookies to do, some aromatherapy. These are the candle buds. These are the cookie brands, but they put different brands on here. Here you go. Candle buds, getting everybody to take a look at them and making it work. So we got some candle buds, and then last but not least, we got some Wilfred's CBD cigarettes. These are only hemp. They're not actual cigarettes. They're made to look like cigarettes, but this is something that we're thinking about importing and sending to Europe. And that's something that we've been working on pretty hard here, is to be able to get people in here and say what's up to them. I guess I can't wave to people after they've gone through, but here's how it works. All of us have a mind. All of us have a way to talk to ourselves, and all of us have a way to kind of jumpstart our brains. And that's something that I wanted to talk about, is to get everybody jump started. In the morning is so important that we have our minds right. Today's Saturday, and for us to get the ability to talk to ourselves correctly. That's how we survive depression. You know, and I say we, as in every human on this planet, having a tough time being able to talk to themselves and making their reality their own. It starts at home. It starts in the head. It starts in the brain. It starts in our ability to be able to process this amount of data. And some of the data is big data. It's hard to swallow. It's not like a Google Drive or something where you just add more data and it just processes it. Our poor little brains are really small compared to the computing power of computers, and being able to say the things that we want and do the things that we want. It's not easy. It's not easy when we are in our own worlds, associating with other people in the world. I think that's the biggest thing of our development, all of us, is to become self-aware, to come online and have something inside of your mind and your soul and be like, okay, this is me, right? This is the new and improved version of me that wants to thrive and live and grow and find my limits and stretch those limits and find ways to heal. It's so important to heal with people. We are all under construction. I keep telling everybody about the I should have really called it too. We were going to talk about it. Are you going to evolve or revolve? And that's a tough one, because most people, we are just revolving around each other on some stupid shit, instead of being evolving and finding out what makes us tick and why we act the way that we do. And I think that's what ends up happening with all of us, is we have no clue what we really want to do and why it's really affecting us. I think it just reaction. It comes stimulus. You're like, man, I just don't feel right. My ancestors have always swallowed beer or smoked a joint, and therefore I'm going to get myself right. Self-regulation's a motherfucker, because your odds of you finding the proper thing to keep yourself happy or healthy, and the probability is low. I was reading it today. Instead of reaching for milk, reach for almond milk. Instead of reaching for chips, reach for carrots. Instead of reaching for something, reach for something healthy. And that's what we do. We have the ability, before we start popping bombs and throwing things in our mouths and in our souls, we have the ability to pick a different path. We have the ability to choose different options. And that's the whole point of not getting on your phone right in the morning, is that it's so easy to just jump on the phone and leave your life and leave your memory and your computing power behind, and just let the data start streaming in instead of controlling the data streaming in. Our brains will get adapted to it. They'll almost seek it, as in dopamine. They are tracking these devices in a way we've never seen before. Not like you're getting tracked to where you're at, but they're tracking your brain. They are tracking our brains more than we are tracking our own brains. And that's why it's so imperative to have this conversation this morning for depression surviving. Is like, instead of watching somebody else watch your watch hours or tell you how long you're on the phone, how about you tell yourself that every morning for a half hour, an hour, you're not going to get on your phone. Give yourself some restrictions. Give yourself some disciplines. Give your brain a chance to wake the fuck up in the morning, instead of having just random facts of information blasted in your face. It happens to us daily, and when this is our new future, and it ruins our momentum. And that's something that I learned this morning, was just like, you want to kill any of your motivation, like we're about to get this motor on. If you want to kill your motivation, hand it over to social media. Sit there on the couch, and it'll love to take the next 2-3 hours of your life for nothing, while you sit getting fat, getting sedentary, just sitting. And that's the clutch of it all. It becomes so subversive. right? Like it's so slick and quiet, like an electric car. You're used to hearing cars coming and going, and now it's like you didn't even hear the car pull up in the parking lot. That's what's happening. You don't even feel that you're parking your brain or parking your body or parking your mind. We end up just fucking jumping into things and just like, oh shit, that's what it's gonna be. And instead of getting a chance to choose a compass or what we want it to be, and we end up staying in situations in our brain instead of healing. And that's something that's so important for all of us, is to find a way to heal our souls. Like, this is the number one imperative thing for all of us, is to heal our souls. We are going to have to find it within ourselves, that we have the ability to adjust our sails. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about adjusting sails to fit the current weather that's of your mind, body, and soul. Shout out to Weed Club. If you guys get a chance, get yourself a Weed Club card. Everybody can sign up. We're growing this as we speak. Look at all these gadgets. Let me get my monkey tail gear on. Grab the monkey tail. It's a monkey tail. Your monkey tail. That's how you say monkey. It's a monkey. Alpine. If you're speaking Finnish, but here we are, speaking that truth, speaking our own truth, getting it how we live, 100% soy aromatherapy candles here. That's the King Louis. And this one's the Texas Pound Cake. We got some flavors here. I give away all this stuff in the weed swag bags. You get a chance. Weed swag bags right here on my shoulder. Weed swag bags right on my shoulder. Making it work, put in work. And that's what we do. We put in work. We put in work shouting out our friends. We put in work doing the show, and put in work in ourselves. Such a key element. Getting it from my friends, and they're grateful that I do the show. My zest for life. A little bit zapped. Get personal. I just recently went through an abortion and a breakup, and it really hurt me. And I've seen some stuff. Women that have had kids, and the man walk out saying the meme, and the man crying to the woman, please don't do this, and the woman walking out. And I'm the latter of the story. I'd love to say that I was a big old prize that was just perfect and I have no issues. That would be a lie. A lot of issues in relationships, not issues in general. I don't have any weight issues. I don't have any mental issues. I've done my shadow work. I've had the conversations with myself. But the ability to process stress has always been, in my family and probably yours, a challenge. My predecessors would always drink their way out of it. They become angry and abusive, and therefore I learned how to become angry and abusive. We are not far from these trees. I think a lot of people, in their heads, they think that they're separate from their family, even though they're not with their families and the unit has shifted. This is not the case. We are all in it together. We are all having the ability to have the conversation with ourselves and say, this is the choices that I've made. If I can choose these choices, then I can learn new choices. I can learn these things. This is learned behavior, which makes that unlearning available to us all, and the ability to learn something new. And I think that's the biggest aware aha moment, when we stop being self-destructive and repeating patterns that our parents have repeated over and over again for centuries. This is the chance to break that kind of attitude and vibe. This is our chance to say, every day is another chance to take out a habit, fight back a little bit for your own mindset. And it starts with little things, like you're thinking fight, but it might be just the ability to not grab your phone and sit still. Those morning times are so chill. It's so important for our health and the vibration of our lives. There's a vibration to it. Get out of whack and get out of vibration, right? My lips are peeling. We throw ourselves out of whack. Med changes, difference in schedules. Whenever you break up the pattern, you have an opportunity to set up a new pattern. Again, I'm talking about evolving instead of revolving, and I should have made the title this, but I'll work on that. For us to evolve our lives, to invest to evolve our bodies and minds, and conversation has to have more intimate conversations, more conversations that are way quiet, and we have the opportunity to talk to ourselves before someone else talks to us, usually early in the morning. Spiritual hour, they say golden hour, this is spiritual hour. For us to come back from dreamland and into a reality where all the thoughts come back. You're rebooting yourself in the morning. It's so important to just not hop on this thing and teach us our own vibration, to find a new vibration. The vibration is there. I was telling my cousin, I felt so bad learning about addictions and not reaching this information to him. I should have told him our propensity to our family to have addiction to nicotine, alcohol, and our mood swings and the manic behavior that's gone through all of our family. And we didn't even know, or I didn't even teach him. We have this ability, we as in my family, to be like, fuck off and mean it, like really mean to people that are even our own family. And I'm just being real. I don't know anybody else is going to be this real on the show, but it's destructive and nobody wants to be around us. And I'm explaining this to him, like, you feel like you got off and you said what you needed to say, but homeboy's doing something differently, right? Like, we take it out on the people closest to us. We say things we don't mean. We're not actually articulating what we're trying to convey. And then you're not with the right language coach, right? I feel bad because I should have told my cousin this, but he didn't ever have any education on how to talk to people. He always just coming from the emotions, and people are like, that's a lot. You're very emotional. And that would make him even more emotional. Same with me. It's like, oh my God, that's like same blood, similar DNA, similar reaction. I'll give you a case in point. Mike Tyson punching the guy on the airplane. Bop, 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 bop. I'm that type of way. You're that type of way. Most people don't want to admit it because most people are actually got a healthy brain. They don't need to swing on somebody. They would have called a stewardess or a marshal and had that person handled and taken off the plane. Instead, I'm going to defend myself. When a section, if I feel like I'm under threat, if you are a threat to me, I'm going to defend myself violently if I have to. And that's the same thing my cousin did. He was on the airplane and got into somebody and started swinging on this fool. And I'm just like, this is the kind of, you know what I'm saying? This is that shit I'm talking about, where we don't have real control over ourselves and we're wondering how we're self-sabotaging ourselves. This is it. And before he started the fight with the guy on the airplane, and before he got angry, he should have had a conversation with himself about feeling more comfortable on an airplane. So many people are anxiety ridden that they just can't help but be extremely cantankerous. And I saw it with an old lady. You think it's just kids, you think it's a white male, drunk white male on a plane. You're absolutely wrong. It's any color, it's any age. I saw a white woman sitting next to a white male and getting into it while her husband was there, being extremely rude, saying the worst things, just letting it come out of her. And I feel bad for her because I've been there before where I just let it come out of me, and I call it venom, but I'm out of control. I had no self-control. And that's something that's rooted in all addictions, is our ability to control ourselves, because nobody else is going to come in and flip the switch and just, and although I wish I did have that ability, no, it's me. I'm the one that's going to have to not take something personally. That was a huge adjustment. So if I don't feel that shots are fired, shots aren't fired, right? If I don't feel like I'm being attacked, then I don't attack back. This is shocking to me. Like, these are new revelations to me. But when I felt like I had to protect myself, I protected myself with violence. I grew up in a world where violence could touch me. And as a formerly abused person and an actual abuser, this is how I learned to teach other people. This is what I learned. I learned that you could be forced to do things. Slave mentality. That I could, instead of forcing myself to have self-control and making decisions over myself, I was forced by other people's hands, right? Like, I was forced to do things by the hand of God, if you will, right? That I learned that it's a possibility that you can be reached. And I think a lot of people get into that world where the only way they learn is by violence or extreme amount of energy. And I was telling my cousin he's too much. Like, we are too much. You know, we're doing too much. We're acting a fool. We're pushing the needle too far, and it's our needle. We're revving ourselves. You know, past that red line. That's that 6,000 to 7,000 RPM is a dangerous RPM, but it's also a rush. You're in the car of your life. You can fucking drive, right? And I could feel it when I was arguing with my ex. I could feel this sense of venom, like nothing can stop me. And it wasn't even my voice, dude. It was a deep, darker, sinister voice that's in all of us. And I'm sure it came out usually when you're drunk or in an altercation or in privacy, right? Like, these things are where we let that bitch out, because we've learned to be folding and sitting folding our hands and sitting on our hands in church, right? Kind of like I'm doing right now. We've learned to curb ourselves to the environment, right? We've learned to curve how we actually are in public. The reason we end up taking it out to the people that we love are these the people that get to see us without constraint. They're not going to call the cops usually. That's domestic violence, but that's the people we end up showing our asses to. That's the people that we end up showing our reality to. And it was such a shock to me, because I think I get along with people pretty well. I mean, I might talk some shit. I might have some fisticuffs enough to miss the bus, but for the most part, you know, I'm not laying hands on women. You know, I'm having pretty good relations. But when I'm in my interpersonal relationships, when I have a intimacy issue with someone, or just intimacy in general, why is it got to be an issue? Um, Turns out my father showed up out of me, my mother showed up out of me, my ego showed up out of me, my fear showed up out of me. A lot of things I'm not proud to admit showed up out of me. Like, we all have a skill set. We all have values, right? Like, different values, but similar to the movie Gladiator, he said, I went through all the virtues, father, and I was none of them, right? I mean, to some of us, we're none of them, but the other ones, he was cunning and deceitful, and he killed his father. I don't know if you remember when he smothered him and choked him out. Like, we live in that world, and it's just weird. You know, it's really weird behaviors that we or no one else is paying attention to. And if we don't pay attention to ourselves, it'll continue to happen. And I'm looking for change behavior. All right. That's the best apology ever in your life, who's ever watching here. Change behavior. You know, being able to say, I'm not perfect, I'm mistake riddled, and I'm going to work on these things. And that's the thing that I keep talking about all week long, is the work into our jobs, the work into our souls, the work into our minds. And that's what the lazy and uninitiated will do. They won't do any of that work. They'll go give it over to Netflix. That's an hour, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours of your binge watching that you could have gone towards self-help. You could have watched a video of someone about motivation. You could have watched educational videos about depression, and you could have also watched even more information about your own personality. Think about that. Think about that you could give yourself your own track in your mind, instead of it being laid already every day. Again, revolve or evolve. Is there an evolution to your design? Or is it just revolving? Like, are you still watching the same TV shows you did as a kid? Impossible. I'm sure you have some reverence to it. I'm sure you feel some sort of connection to reminiscing. But the power of who we are and our energy changes so often that we got to find new ways to lay new tracks. We got to find new ways to talk to ourselves and communicate. This is imperative. Everybody else is doing easy upgrades. You'll want to upsell yourself at the restaurant. Of course you want dessert, right? It's easy to order dessert, but the bitches are $6, $10 each, sometimes $20 each, with little slices of nothing. My tres leches cake. It's like, what? How much you charging me for this? $7? This used to be 2 slices. Anyway, my point is, it's easy to order dessert, not so easy to do the work. And I love ordering me desserts. I want my dessert before the meal. I'm doing it Russian style. I want my sugar fast. I want all the good stuff in and around my mouth. I'm a Taurus bull. Like, I'm insatiable. It's part of me. But what's also part of me was something else, a darker side that was a little too insatiable, right? Like, now all of a sudden I need it. Now I'm jonesing. Now I gotta have a good time, and to have a good time, that included cocaine. I remember I tell people often, but it was a Patron shot of silver, Patron tequila with the lime, the salt, the Corona with the lime, and some lines of cocaine. And I thought I was winning. Like, you couldn't tell me differently. I thought we were partying, winning. It's almost like the feel no pain recipe that worked for my brain. It worked for my best friend's brain, and he's still a junkie to this day. If I didn't leave this world and I didn't explore it, I would have ended up that way. Lying to my friends, stealing, being homeless, sleeping on the streets. I was homeless. Watching some of my friends graduate college today, and I think about graduating college, and it's a lot. What I'm asking people to do is a lot. That's why we're creating Saints Giving. There needs to be more help. It's not just all of us. Like, if it wasn't for my friend Jenny King to give me a job, to get me out of homelessness, I don't think I would have made it. I mean, it's like we throw baby showers, but we don't throw business showers. We don't give each other a chance. Like my boy Mo, I'm very impressed by motivation because he gets up early and he digests it and he shares it. What's so cool about organized movements is his company. What's so cool about Mo is he practices what he preaches. He actually is a genuine, nicer person to be around. He actually is motivated. He actually practices pitch, and I'm here to motivate you. He can pop it off. Most people aren't that polished. Most people aren't that put together. They're still battling demons instead of battling business, or they're still practicing demons instead of reading books. My buddy, I'm proud of him. He's got positive leadership on the table. He actually is reading these things, and he actually has a healthy relationship and a healthy business. I wish that upon all of you. I really do. I wish that you all can move past whatever internal bullshit that you got going on, because it sucks, because you'll be wasting your time on it. Not that it's bullshit, not that it's not valid, but it's bullshit in the fact that it's taking up your time, your soul time. You know what I'm saying? And he's over there reading positivity books. He's over there leveling up instead of complaining. He's over there making stacks on racks instead of begging. And it goes to show. It just goes to show. Like, I wish he would show up on the show. That would be dope if he can call in. Mo, I'd love for you to call in right now. But, my friends like Coda, being able to talk to Coda. Yeah, my lips are fucked up. Coda chose Coda over Coke. Chose his life. Now, he already had the truck, so most people would have chased the truck. He already had the motorcycle, so most people would have chased the motorcycle. They would say, if I get a big truck, girls are going to think I got a big dick. They're all going to jump in. Like, him going to the gas pump is like, he's got a Tonka truck. It's like $500 each time. And much like hard living, he was spending all of his hard-earned money on those hard drugs. Welcome to Weed Club, homie. Welcome to Weed Club, homie. And it says right there, no alcohol or hard drugs, period. Right here. Rule number 5, no hard alcohol or drugs, period. No hard alcohol or drugs, period. Period. Does it say period with T? Should. There's a vibe. You can survive yourself. Your emotions, your mentality. If you can survive your habits, and this is why I call it Saints Addiction. If you can find something saintly to go after, something like your health, your friends, love, then you're going to get a chance to put some of that raw energy after it. And that gets me excited. Like, I could be depressed as fuck, but competition and drive and competing gets me excited. For my cousin, it's fishing. He's still gonna drink. He still got diabetes. He's still gonna drink. It's no good to him. And I've been telling him, I read it off the list to him to his face. But we're not processing our emotions correctly. You're not drunk. You're not processing your emotions correctly. That's not beer. That's cheap dopamine. That's fake dopamine. That's a fake happy. If we started calling it, what I'm gonna go across the store and get a fake happy. You're like, what'd you just say? Do you want some? Do you want some fake happy? What do you say? I need some dopamine, man. I gotta get like at least 2, 3 dopamines in me. They're like $1. Can I borrow $1? And start fighting with your baby mama and infighting and give me some money. And instead of being about the money or being a supplier, we become a taker instead of being a giver. We start hurting people because we're hurt inside, and then we stop healing. This is so radical of a change. I'd love to just be part of the healing, and that's the whole point of still doing first some festivals. I don't know how I'm gonna make it work. I don't know what property I'm gonna do it on, but I want to do a healing festival called the Fifth Element Festival. This has been in my heart and head. It's in my soul. Same as the Summer Weed Festival. I had an idea for it, and we pulled it off. You gotta start somewhere inside yourself, inside of ourselves. I think ourselves are wanting to survive. I think somewhere in it say put the fucking donut down, or go for a walk, or you need space, you need time, you need healing. This stuff is so imperative. If it wasn't for my mama, man, damn, I wouldn't have made it. I need to be near her to heal. Most of the time when I have my own place, I never ever get to see her. I don't get to see her. We live in the same damn city, and I never get to see her. I never get to see any of my siblings. It's so disconnected. Trying to get people out, trying to get them more on the tip. Like, yo, let's go do some sushi. Let's do some lunches. Let's do some meetups. Let's figure it out together. Let's get some FaceTime. Let's get out of the house. And then we got so used to being in our house, we built these castles where shit bring the shit to us. My homies got them bringing the dog food and shit. I was like, bro, we need to start our own delivery company. We need Saints Delivery. We need to be able to bring this stuff all over the place. It's print in an hour around here. I'll be able to bring your print to you in less than an hour in this Vegas Valley. How smooth is that? And that's what I'm grateful for. That's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the big things, the moves, the things that make me happy, the things that can move things forward. And that's what I'm about. I'm about moving things forward in myself. I just don't like the alternatives. This is the only way I know how to survive depression. As a depression survivor, someone that's beat depression multiple times, and now I got it again after an abortion, I have to figure it out again. And I was like, this is a lot of work. I should tell people. I should warn people the hacks that are underway, and the hacks are get that circle of influence open. That's my number one thing. I need to get some oxytocin. Okay, so I'm not jonesing anymore for it. Won't work. It so won't work. Like, it's not even on the list of things that would work. And that's what I was telling my cousin. I wish him to get on that level because it's the first thing that works for him. Bam, give me some alcohol. I'll feel that way. I'll get numb. I'll get right. And it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't. There's not enough weed in the world. There's not enough cigarettes in the world for this to work. And that's what ends up happening, right? We end up isolating ourselves. It's true. And then when COVID hit, we really became hibernated. We really became, well, I know in America, you'd almost feel safer in your house because if it bleeds, it leads. I mean, they're sending motherfuckers out, shooting people in broad daylight in Philadelphia. This is some scary shit. War-torn fucking Philadelphia, looking like Ukraine up in this bitch. We are so out of whack, but we'll get pulled over and tow someone's car in an apartment, or pulled over and ruin their day in 4 fucking SUVs. Meanwhile, spitting on these pedophiles, spitting on the sex slave trade, which I just learned, so I'll share with you, happens mostly in hotels. And since COVID had that like wireless checkout, more of it started to happen. This is a sex slave trade. I was kind of really confused by it. For some reason, I thought it was like slavery and they were keeping people in their basements to work for free. I'm not quite sure. But most of these men who can't talk to women end up buying a woman. So they work longer hours doing a job they don't like so they can fuck somebody they don't know that's on or in the sex slave.
trade. I didn't know. So like this is yeah, you need to know. You need to know some science too. You can look them up yourself, but for us to all stop it, there's going to be some signs. Hotel check-in guests know these signs here in Vegas. They get trained for it. I didn't even know this was happening. I'd like some training. I used to have a really bad Gaydar. Gaydar got better, but my really bad Methdar. I just assumed people were hyphy, and yeah, I had a bad Methdar. So, but anyway, that's what's going on. Our ability to fucking handle these things. Calling our friends, our circle of influences, and say, hey, I need to talk to somebody. If you're anything like me, when I normally need to talk to somebody, it's usually finger flicking through a FaceTime and then my phone trying to call somebody somewhere to get the oxytocin, somewhere in this maze, somewhere in this box. The rat will get the oxytocin, you know, get that little beat up and get a little water in. I mean, insatiable our brains are. We have, what did they say, 4 or 5? I think it's 5 receptors for pleasure. This is why it has to be Saints Addiction, because I still got to get my pleasure. Like somehow, some way, you are still getting your pleasure. If you're watching this show, Stop Lying. What things do you do to still get your pleasure on? Like, what are your go-to things? The 5 things, and odds are, it's going to be dopamine, serotonin, in, endorphins. Uh, I'm smoking. I got high, and then there's on the other side the one negative, cortisol. So we have the ability to pump certain hormones through our own bodies, choose certain information for our eyeballs to read, what we digest, and how do we move ourselves. How do we initiate ourselves and say, hey, get out of the house? Like my buddy was called, I gotta get my mom out of the house. I gotta get her out of the house. She's been in here. She's going crazy. Blood pressure's going up. Let's just take her to the drum circle. It's going tonight too. But, it was Friday the 13th yesterday. I was like, I ain't going nowhere. But I needed the rest. And part of that is number 2 is the rest. So your circle of influence, but also resting. Resting off your phone is different than resting with your phone. Resting with your phone tends to be higher anxiety. It's just like a cigarette. You'd say you hit it to relax. It actually gives you hypertension and raises your heart rate. That's the truth. You can look it up. There's a book on how to quit cigarettes, and it'll tell you the truth about everything about cigarettes to the point that you cannot argue in your head no more the lies that you've been telling yourself to get away with the bad habit. And that's what it is. Now that's where I created Saints Addiction. It's the lies that we tell ourselves to justify our bad habits. Well, rationalize, over socialize. We'll argue instead of listen. I think it's time to make a listen over argue shirt, but anyway, human nature, left, right, and straight, we get anxiety. And that's why I created Calm CBDs. I couldn't believe the domain name was available, but smoke good. We all need some calm. We all operate better when we are calm. So imperative. Get some water in this thing too. So imperative. The calm is real, right? The calm is real, and if we choose to find it, if we choose to have the conversation, start building the bridges in our brain for what am I going to reach for next time I have high anxiety. What's the thing I can go to before I grab the beer? Before I start arguing? Before I get tipped over and poured out? It's so imperative to find something. Trips on your motorcycle. I'm talking free stuff. I'm not talking stuff that costs money, because that usually shuts our brain down. We'll be like, oh shit, I can't go because it's going to cost me $100. I don't have $100. Now I'm sitting here. I'm just paying my phone because it's free and my time is free. Your time is not free. You could be spending your time Walking is one of my favorite ones. So now comes number 3 of the whole set. It's call your friends, circle of influence. You got to have a top 3. I tell my friends, put me in your top 3. Put me in your top 3. Oh, and shout out to these guys too. We're gonna start making some of these, the high bud tenders. I'm sure you can't see this. They got the littlest QR code on this. It's so funny. So then my other buddy, shout out to the terpene tortoise. He's the homie. I probably, you know, let me grab it. I got my shout out king, man. I want everybody to get some shine. He gave me some wax actually, and I don't even have. So let me shout out the wax. Shout out the products. Get the Kush lotions out there. Get the door out the way. Find the wax. Get in the game. Show it off so everybody can see the homie. The terpene trichome tortoise. I'm high. Trichome tortoise, but the reason I'm showing this is he had the littlest, cutest QR code on the back of his too. Like my phone couldn't even pick it up. It was like scan here. I'm like, well, what little miniature phone isn't supposed to scan here? So shout out to the miniature QR codes of the world. Shout out to the miniature QR codes of the world. You're too funny. But here we are. Learning, living, feeling, getting it, you know, how we live. All of us can live a better way. For the first time in the histories of histories, people are finding a better way to regulate and be honest about their mental stability. And I think that's so clutch. You know, that's the clutch part of it, is for us to find our own mental stability. Oh, and it was the third thing. I was trying to explain something too. It was exercise is so huge. Motion creates emotion. And that's your boy Richard Bajan, but motion creates emotion. If you have the ability to jumpstart yourself, then you're self-initiated. We talked about it yesterday, self-motivated. You got to get motivated, but finding the motivation is clutch, right? So first we operate out of calm, and then we shift gears into a motivated energy, and then that's being proactive. I think we just sit there and wait for something to happen, and that's a very bad strategy. Move your feet, move your soul, just go for a walk. I mean, almost instantaneously. If you could do that, I think that would be clutch 1000 for someone to be able to just be like, this is too stressful for me. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm just going to get up and fucking bounce. Like the ability to take your own self-control. Similar to the ability to be like, I'm reaching for an apple, or carrots over chips, like the girl was, almond milk over milk, just healthier alternatives right there, that switch. So I'm going to be saintly, not addicted. I'm going to be saintly, not addicted. That's what I was doing. I was like, I knew I needed something to chase after that meant as much as the first stimulus. So, I mean, you're still going to be hungry, but your ass needs a motherfucking carrot in your mouth. Get some baby carrots, just throw that shit in your mouth, versus a whole bag of chips laden with oil and you know it, but your body craves it because it likes salt. There's better ways of getting salt. You could have sprinkled salt on a salad. I was going to make a shirt that was like salads over burgers or something like that. Like it was going to be something like that, you know? It needs to happen for all of us. Y'all need to get some greens in there. There's so much cravings, like the pork bellies, the pork rinds, anything bacon that gets us and just goes right to carcinogens. It goes right to heart disease. So, you know, as you start getting healthier, right, and working out, the exercise starts giving you the endorphins, the body will start craving healthier food. And then this is when you start becoming a self-aware, self-care type environment. Now you start taking the regular showers, you start brushing your teeth regularly, you start eating regularly, you start eating right regularly, you start working out regularly, and then you give yourself a new pattern, right? Versus that old unhealthy patterns. And this is what we're talking about, breaking old healthy patterns. So I feel great today. We got 10 more minutes, and I had like 2 people pop in on the Saints Addiction channel. They popped in, popped out, but you know, we'll keep going live every morning. We're gonna start making this a real show, having people call in and tell us their tips. You know, again, shout out to Coda from being a winner, you know, choosing himself, having a business and land and chickens and lakes and all sorts of awesome. Where's the snorting it? And you know what I mean. I know everybody in here knows what I mean. So stop snorting your dreams. And I literally mean that. Start working the machine. One of my favorite lyrics of all time from the Plastic Beach, the Gorillas. My little dream, working the machine. I mean, I work the machine. I love being the shout out king. I love being able to shout out Kush Lotions. You know what I mean? I love to be able to shout out Monkey Tail, Monkey Tail. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson Blunt Wraps. We've been showing these off for a hot minute. These things are readily available. You know, with modern technology, we're gonna get this thing going. We're gonna make these things on the websites. You can order them right now, but available seamlessly, so you don't have to put that much energy into it. You know, just smoke and review. We smoke and review all these things. All these things are available inside the weed swag bag, so that needs to be said too, right, guy? They're all in here, so it's like you can build out your bag like a Build-A-Bear. You know, you can build your own bag, weed swag bags. Not everybody likes the same stuff. Some people like vape stuff. Some people like paper stuff. We want to know what kind of smoker are you. So when we join Weed Club, I gotta bust out the Weed Club card. Look at all this awesomeness. Look at all this awesomeness. Shout out to Sahara Wellness. They're awesome. You guys are awesome. You guys are always in my heart. Women owned and operated and equal opportunity hires. Get your Weed Club on. Get your Weed Club on. Gonna make this covert. Go to another city. Show up, show out. Philadelphia, you dangerous. Shooting at people at the gas station. I don't want to be no part of that. Where are my friends in Philly? Where's it safe? Sourced and smoke safely. I want people to be able to avoid police and their little skimmy scams where you can park and spark all the time. You know, anywhere. Where's a good park to spark? Go make a friend. Make a friend. Now you met another member of Weed Club. That means they're not a murderer. They smoke weed, right? They're not a salesperson. They're a member, right? You're not buying weed from a stranger. You're being gifted flowers from a member. This is somebody that's safe in the membership. Similar to your boy, couchsurfer.com. When you're couch surfing, you can have people come to your house and stay from all over the world. And instead of having an empty couch, you can have a full conversation. And all these people are rated and voted by other people, so they're not crazy in your house. And then, is this person clean? Do they clean up after themselves? Do they treat their place like a motel? No. You know, so that kind of stuff's available. You know, we have the ability to open up our worlds to people and situations. And our minds and our hearts. So it's important to get outside, get under the stars. That's what the drum circles are for. Get out of the house, get your mind right, keep walking till it's right. That's what I do, being honest. And then doing those laps. It's better than doing laps in our mind and hours on our phone. These are the ways to heal ourselves. So I think I gave you guys the core 5, but we'll just wrap it up because I'm almost down to my last 5 minutes, but I'll give it to you straight. Can't wait to have a whiteboard. It'd be so much easier to point at this. You guys are going to love Teacher Mock. Teacher Mock, Teacher Mock. Love that stuff. Teacher Mock. We're going to do our circle of influence, right? Can't believe I get to do this high. This is how good I am. I didn't smoke while I taught English, though. We're going to, there's no way. Shit. We're going to do our circle of influence. We're going to have some quiet time to calm ourselves, right? We're going to have to get exercise, you know, to get that endorphins, the natural, because it's all chemicals inside of our body. This is a mind warfare. To actually, it's chemical warfare going on in our body. So to break up the routines and get a new routine, this is the quintessential Saints addiction right here. If you can figure out a way to trick yourself into a new routine, because you know what your habits are, you know what motivates you, and I'm giving you all the tricks to break the depressions, the circle of influences, the exercise. I said them all. You guys can all watch the show live on YouTube or rewatch the live on YouTube. That's what's so dope about the lives on YouTube is you can get the information that you want. You can flip to whatever episode you want, whatever message that you want. And that's all this is to reach, preach, and teach to people keys. What they say, what's your boy Khaled say? Major key alert. Major key alert, is that exercise. And then that desire to want to eat right, and then get on regular sleep habits, and rest our bodies, rest our minds, be able to rejuvenate this thing called our computer, right? We have a computer here, and our phones have to be reset. Your phone will reset at the most inappropriate time. That's your brain. Like, our brains are resetting on us on the most inappropriate times, and we need it. We need reprieve. We need rest. We need to start understanding ourselves. Such key alerts to get sober, get soberish, get quiet enough in our minds to have conversations with ourselves. So then once you are there, you're really talking to yourself and saying, hey, self, these are real conversations that aren't interrupted by other stimulus, that aren't interrupted by other fears. When you have quiet time, spiritual time for you to bring your whole computer back online, right? It's nice to not numb it out immediately with fake dopamines on our phones. It's nice to be able to have conversations with friends, and oh, that was the second thing, or no, is that the first thing? It's circle of influence. No, but meeting them, actually meeting with people, and getting out of COVID like behavior and smoker like behaviors. The reason I throw events, is because we end up finding a way to self medicate but not communicate. And that's a really difficult thing for people to actually really communicate. And that's what I said. I felt bad not sharing that with my cousin, all the information that I know about addiction and depression and surviving it, and not sharing that with him about him being healthier. Almost like doing a disservice to him. I'd much rather have this conversation while he's alive, while he still has a chance to fight the diabetes, and fight the unhealthy behavior, and maybe choose a different path. I told him, man, you love fishing, you're going to be drinking regardless. I can't ask you to stop drinking. You probably won't listen to me anyway. You're addicted. But you can drink by the river. You still drinking the same beer. But might as well find a friend, somebody, a pseudo psychologist that you can go fishing, free fun. That no, I'm going to get your ass out the house. So trick yourself out of the house, trick yourself out of a habit. This is the key elements of it all. It's the morning marijuana motivation. I want everybody to be motivated. Pick up a book, and then put that out there. But there's so many audiobooks. Even if it's just an audiobook, you don't have to pick it up. You can just listen. It's so easier. So start listening to yourself, start listening to other people, be a good listener. This is what I think they always meant in my life. I thought they meant like behave the way I want you to behave, but hey, we all interpret words differently. We'll make up sentences and shit. So like, we'll make up whole scenarios and shit. So I'm human like you. Let's keep some real scenarios in our lives, the decisions of today, because all you have is the power now. But those are like those reality checks where you're like, I got power right now to do something with it. I got the power to do something with it. I could just put this phone down and just go for a walk. I can totally fucking Forrest Gump this bitch and just start running, and what a magical thing it would be to be obsessive and addicted to something positive. That's your Saint's addiction right there, is to go like, yo, I'm going to start choosing my health. I'm going to start choosing pull-ups instead of beer ups, and I'm going to find new friends there too at the gym, and new routines. And we've all seen it. We have all seen the motivational stuff of people that go from completely addicted to this and find healthy addictions. Shout out to my best friend Matt Gallego, same, his sobriety and teaching people how to work out and posting motivational things. And that is what the gym is. I used to call it my sanctuary, but more than reprieve, it's mental stability in there, y'all. That's what he's doing. He's getting people off of drugs and depression. Like, real talk. That's where recovery begins, is through exercise. Isn't that amazing? So shout out to my boy Matthew Gallegos, my oldest friend on the books. All my heart from the start. You're my boy. Thank you for doing that for people, man. Isn't that so amazing that they can get healthy themselves? Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you will. Like, share, subscribe. Stop swinging at Mike Tyson. Stop swinging at the candles. These guys are super dope. Get you some candle buds with a Z. Wilfred's got a CBDs. We got our monkey tail and the Kush lotions. All of these have Instagram, Monkey Tail Gear, Kush Lotions. I don't know what these guys are, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. And thanks for spending an hour with me of your time. Renan, I have to go, bro. I'll see you on the other side. Call me on WhatsApp. Chigatan. I'll see you. Peace and love. Stay blessed, not stressed. And I'll holler at you. Ciao. Yes, West.